Oh yes, there's something I must ask you. Of course, of course. Go ahead, Susie.
Cool.
Live and learn, Ulysses. Live and learn, man. Oh, I didn't know it was still in beta. Okay. Yeah, I have a few streamer friends who have put a good amount of time in Satisfactory.
Of course. Go ahead, Susie. I'm a very great fan of the adventures of Herlock Sholmes and... oh! You have a copy of France magazine? Yes! I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship. Oh, this is so exciting!
Oh, hold on. I skipped that line.
Oh, this is so exciting! My stories are being read on the other side of the world.
My stories?
That's right. Hurley is always solving such amazing cases, you see. And he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. It would be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard them, don't you think? Goodness! Last night, he was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. Hey, that's the ship that we were on. So, I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. So, you are the author? Yes. I'll let you in on a secret if you like. I'm going to call this latest adventure the Speckled Band.
The Speckled Band? That's certainly very familiar.
Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories here and there. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble.
Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, actually.
Yes, and of course I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but... it's a story! Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think. Don't you? So, do you mean to say... are there stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in Rance magazine? All written by me? Yes, on my wonderful and very modern typewriter. But all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, by Dr. John H. Wilson.
Susato-san's getting more and more worked up.
Ah, yes, that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. But what about the doctor of medicine part?
Ya boy Vec! Welcome back to the stream, dude.
Cheers!
Welcome back, dude. Mr. Sam K, hi.
Oh god, heartburn.
Goddamn, why does this burn so bad? Oh my god, Ulysses.
Welcome back, bro. How you doing, man? But yeah, I may end up settling for Space Engineers. I have heard about that game. Haven't played it myself. Good evening, good sir. Welcome back to the stream. I'm only going to be streaming for a little bit longer. But yeah, I know. Appreciate you tuning in. Playing some Ace Attorney. It's a visual novel.
But what about the doctor of medicine part? That's all true too. I am a doctor of medicine.
No, at 10 years old?
At 10 years old.
Well, that's quite incredible.
But...
Oh no, Susato is destroyed because all the stories she read of Sherlock Holmes was written by a 10-year-old kid. Oh no, she looks heartbroken.
But...
Lul.
But... Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. Ah, yes. I did alter the setting slightly for the stories to be more compelling. Oh. Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow. I suppose it does, yes. Oh, poor Susato-san. She looks like her whole world has just fallen apart. Trying to clean off my desk. Only thing therapeutic right now? Wait, what's therapeutic right now? Oh, like cleaning off your desk? Emo.
Save 15% or more on car insurance.
Your deductions just now.
But yeah, dude, Vec. Thanks for coming back to the stream, dude. Good to see you, man.
About before. Yes, yes. What's on your mind, Runo? Do tell me. How did you know that I was a lawyer and we just arrived in London, I mean? Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all of that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please, tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Of course. I'd be delighted. Although, there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Iris Wilson is proud to present her logic and reasoning spectacular.
God, I love those fucking glasses.
Eh?
Oh, and I love that background, dude. I love that background, yo.
First of all, I knew already that you were a lawyer, Runo. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber.
Alright, I'm sorry, but yo, dude.
But you also said that we'd only just arrived in London. How did you know that? I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh. So, I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted a case against that particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs.
The Reaper of the Bailey? I walked right into that one, didn't I?
Then I noticed a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with a suspect, weren't you? Earlier today? Ah! They use those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see. I didn't realize. And a red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. So, that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnus McGilded, the two of you had already had cause to visit a foreign inmate at a local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face. So, I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That
led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case. I see.
But how could you have known that the trial is tomorrow? Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. It obviously amused him. He told me that he'd caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling.
A Japanese man? Well, clearly that must have been...
Mr. Natsume!
Better than God being the guy that's the person that is the Allstate guy. Watch Lucifer. Tara, please.
Mr. Natsume! Now, Bruno has that fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both come from Japan yourselves. So, I put two and two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case. Da-da-ling. There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know. He is silly. And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions.
Nanda?
Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct?
They were spot on.
That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction.
You even managed the certain something of Mr. Sholmes' delivery.
Oh, well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that. This is really very good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please?
The case of the Japanese man. So yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying?
Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage, but the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene.
Ah. The great detective is a popular man, it seems.
Apparently, a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking, stooped man running away from the scene. A short, shifty-looking, stooped man.
Mr. Natsume, beyond any doubt. So Seki-san said that he didn't see anybody else on the street at all. But it seems there were witnesses after all.
Hurley used his great deductive powers to determine the man's address. It was a logic room very nearby. He went directly there with the police. And what did they find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man shivering in fear.
Mr. Sholmes' great deduction certainly hit the mark that time.
Of course it did! He's a great detective!
Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it?
Definitely! We have no time to investigate properly. Hurley says that London is rife with crime.
Oh.
Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it apparently. Oh dear. I hadn't realized the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying the criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person. That's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system.
I suppose it is.
But in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Soseki-san.
Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative.
Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun.
Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you'd guessed, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well.
Ah, well... I expect Hurley is still investigating the scene.
Of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, Mr. Nuts. Ume? Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there. Iris, do you know where those lodgings are? Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson when you were there?
Yes, we know Inspector Gregson.
Oh, goody! In that case, give Gregsy this for me, would you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know.
What is this?
A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems.
Iris's postcard has been entered into the court record.
It reads, "Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem?" Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it?
Oh, well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try.
Good luck, then. I'm going to return to my writing manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I'll be making more special blends of tea, so come back again soon. We'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of the crime.
So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all. We headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. To be continued. And that is where we are going to call the stream for today. Good stuff, good stuff. I wanted to stop right at the checkpoint. Right, like around the 3.5 hours mark. Good stuff, chat, good stuff. Alright, Nemo. Alright. I'm trying to save. Can you keep those cheeks closed while I save? I don't want it to get it corrupted with your goddamn flatulence.
That's one, Nemo.
Wipe that expression off your face. Okay. Oh my god. Who the fuck? Who was that?